Robert Kelly here, Sun Driven Solar. Today we are going to talk about off-grid projects and battery banks and the components that come with them. We mostly do grid-tied projects, but I've been certified on off-grid and battery projects, so it's nice to do these smaller things, smaller projects that I really enjoy doing. But today, for an example of what not to do, I want to show you guys what I ran into last week at a customer's house. Is not very good. They called me because they couldn't get a hold of a contractor that did this work to begin with, and their setup wasn't working. So I accepted the challenge. I said, all right, I'll be there tomorrow, and this is what I found. Another contractor had set up this system that was powering some cameras and some small loads. They took a 12 volt 50 watt solar panel. They plugged it in straight into the battery bank without a charge controller. And without that charge controller, these batteries got way overcharged and ballooned up like a freaking bowling ball. I mean, these are supposed to be square. If you hope this camera does it a little bit of justice, but good Lord, I mean, this is just round as round can get. So that's what happens when you install solar without a charge controller on an off-grid project. These batteries are 12 volt, 5 amp hour AGMs that were wired in parallel to make 10 amp hours for the battery bank. 5 amp hours a piece in parallel makes 10 amp hours total for the battery bank in 12 volts. In this system that I fixed, the contractor did not size the battery bank correctly according to the loads that was drawing power. So I went back through, I did a load calculation on what they're drawing, and they actually needed a 40 amp hour battery bank rather than this 10 amp hour battery bank that they had. So they had these batteries that were getting overcharged from the solar, and then without the charge controller, and then they were getting drawn down to 0% state of charge really fast, and that's what kills the lifespan of a battery. Any type of AGM battery, you do not want it to go below 50% state of charge. That way you have a much longer lifespan of these batteries, and they're actually not supposed to go below 50% state of charge. That's what these things are made to do, is go down to 50% and stay above. We will be doing another video about sizing battery banks and sizing of solar arrays using our calculation methods and spreadsheets for you guys to use and learn how to do this yourself. Moving forward on equipment that you need on your off-grid projects, you're going to have your solar panel. And then your solar panel, that gets plugged into your charge controller, which regulates the voltage of the battery bank. And so your charge controller gets wired to your batteries to your inverter, which runs your AC loads. Now, if you have DC loads, you can run them off of your charge controller bypassing your inverter. So that's your main equipment: solar panel, charge controller, inverter, batteries. It's important to match whatever voltage that your system is running. So if you've got a 12 volt battery bank, and your charge controller is now going to need to be 12 volt rated, and so is your solar panel. If you have a 24 volt system, then you need a 24 volt rated charge controller and a 24 volt rated solar panel. The same goes for the 48 volt solar panels or 48 volt battery banks as well. Now, a 12 volt solar panel, the operating voltage is probably going to be around 18 volts. The voltage is always a little bit higher than your battery bank is, so that your solar will be charging the batteries. Kind of like if you have two jugs of water, right? And they're connected together, and you have one jug that you put that's got larger amount of water, and then the other jug this is your solar, other jug has smaller amount, kind of like your battery bank. And that is going to want to force down to charge your battery bank. The next thing that you need is overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection is very important, and it can come in the form of a fuse or a breaker. And these are going to be on the positive side of our system. You will have a fuse between the solar panels, between the solar and the charge controller, and that's going to be around 10 to 20 amp fuses. And then a fuse between your charge controller and your battery, and a fuse between the battery and your inverter. The size of the fuse, it all depends on what system that you're running and the maximum amperage that you're drawing. So if you got a 2000 watt inverter or a 200 watt inverter, it's a big difference, and it all depends on that. So before you do any installation of a battery bank or a solar project, Please contact us here on YouTube or through Facebook at Sun Driven Solar LLC. I'll get you all the calculations that you need to be done correct, show you my work of why it is sized a certain way, and please contact us or check out our next video of sizing your grid off-grid system. Solar setups are pretty simple, but you need to know the correct calculations to do everything correct the first time, not have your batteries looking like this bowling ball here. So I hope you learned something from this video. Please like us and subscribe to our channel to our next videos in the future. Also check us out on Facebook, Sun Driven Solar LLC. Once again, I'm Robert Kelly with Sun Driven Solar. Thanks for watching.